Hello poultry farmers, welcome to another episode with Everything Poultry. I'm Dr. Mantangopep, and in today's video we are going to be discussing a very important topic in poultry production. What can that be? Brooding dayold chicks. It is very important that you get this correctly if you want to be successful in your poultry business. How do you brood your dayold chicks? Is this your first time starting a poultry business and you're wondering how to brood those dayold chicks, how to make them reach maturity without mortality? Then this is the right video for you. If this is your first time to this channel, do well to subscribe to this channel and then turn on the notification bell to get notified every time I post an important video like this. So what is brooding? Brooding is the care given to dayold chicks from dayold to 2 or 3 weeks as for broilers, and from dayold to about 6 weeks in layers, depending on which type of birds you are keeping. Now, how do you get the birds? You order the birds from reputable hatcheries. How do you know reputable hatcheries? You can ask fellow farmers in your area, or you can ask a veterinarian. And I think you should go with a veterinarian, because as vets, we see cases that are brought to us every day and we ask for the source of the birds. And sometimes we know that this farm is doing well and the other farm is not doing well. So a brooder may recommend a good hatchery for you. After ordering your birds, you have to make sure you have everything in place. What do I mean by everything? Everything here means the things that you require for a successful brooding. And what are these things? The brooding environment. If you have a small room that you want to brood your birds in, make sure the room is ready to receive those chicks. How do you make that room ready? Make sure you disinfect the floor, disinfect the walls, and disinfect everything in that house. And how do you disinfect? Disinfection is a very important aspect in brooding and in preventing poultry diseases generally. If you brooded your birds last time there, you need to use a very strong disinfectant to remove every form of infectious agent that may cause an infection to your new birds. Disinfect with chlorine-based disinfectants or iodine-based disinfectants. Chlorine-based disinfectants could be just hypo or jig. Make sure it's concentrated enough to remove every infectious agent, or you can use iodine or Sauke or any other iodine-based disinfectant. Just make sure you use the right quantity. After disinfecting that room, make sure it is dry, and then you allow the room to rest for a while. Now, you need some equipment and materials in place before you start brooding your birds. What are those equipment? The most important equipment are the brooding stove, the lights, then the feeders and the drinkers. If you have these things, you can brood any number of birds. Now, these materials and equipment depends on the number of birds you are brooding, and make sure the space is enough to handle those birds. If you are not sure of the space, you can make sure you ask your veterinarian, or you can chat me or send me a message and I'll reply you. I'll make sure I leave my contact at the end of this in the comment section, in the description of this video, so you can always reach me and I will give you assistance. Okay, so before your chicks arrive, make sure you have all these things in place and functioning in the poultry, in the brooding pen before your chicks arrive. Make sure the heat is working, make sure the source of heat is already functioning, and make sure the heat is not too much and it's not too low for the birds. Before the birds arrive, let's say 3 hours before the birds arrive, make sure you provide feed and water in the feeders and drinkers respectively. The feed should be a starter feed, but starter feed as the case may be. If it's for layers, make sure you have chick starter, and if it's for broilers, make sure you have broiler starter. This feed have higher protein and more of growth promoters, so that these birds can start. You give them a good start early on. Do not cut corners. If you cut corners at this point, your birds may get stunted. They will not grow well if you don't feed them well, or if you don't provide the right feed for them at this age. Also, you need to provide glucose and vitamins in the water before these chicks arrive, and make sure everything is ready before these chicks arrive. When these chicks arrive, they arrive in boxes. I think 50 or 51, as in I don't know how you receive your birds, but when they arrive, remove these birds gradually, one by one, into the brooding area, and then make sure they are settled. Make sure they are having access to the water and the feed. Those that cannot drink water, help them to drink water, assist them. Take their beak to the water and let them know that this is water. And at least I forget. The floor of the brooding area should be covered by brooding paper or any soft litter material. You can use rice offer, which is soft and the birds can march on it without causing any damage to them. Let's get back to where we are. These vitamins and glucose will help them to rest from the stress of the journey. Now, subsequently, you provide a good antibiotic as recommended by a veterinarian for the first 7 days of the brooding. On the 6th day, you may have to stop because you need to give Gumboro on the 7th day. That's the first vaccine you give your birds. Gumboro on the 7th day, and you repeat Gumboro 2 weeks later. That's on the 21, right? And then on the 14th, you give Lasota, and you repeat it on the 28th. Lasota is a vaccine against Newcastle, and Gumboro vaccine is a vaccine against Gumboro, which is also infectious bursitis. It affects young birds, and then you need to prevent against this disease. They are very important diseases that you need to prevent against, because I've seen farmers lose almost all their birds to Gumboro, because Gumboro is a very powerful disease. While Newcastle is slow killing, and then your birds don't do well if you don't vaccinate against these two diseases. Now, to monitor your birds, you have to monitor your birds continuously during the brooding. Continue to monitor, is the light intensity okay? Is it too much for them? Or is the heat too much? Heat is very important in brooding. The right temperature for brooding is 42 to 44 degrees centigrade, and you keep decreasing by 4% every week. That means when you start with 44% in the first week, in the second week, reduce it to be 40 degrees centigrade. In the third week, you can reduce it by 2 degrees or 3 degrees, maybe 38 or 37 degrees centigrade, and keep reducing until you reach about 25 degrees centigrade, where your birds will be doing well on this temperature. How do you know when the birds are not enjoying this heat you are providing? When the birds when the heat is too much, the birds run away from that source of heat. They tend to stay away in the angles of the brooding area. But when the heat is too little, they tend to gather around that source of heat. They come together and gather around the source of heat, or they gather together in one area. That means the heat is too much. And also, when there's too much of wind blowing in one direction, the birds avoid that place, that location, and go to another location to hide. So always monitor these things. When your birds are doing well, you too will do well. So it is important that you monitor them and help them to settle well in that area, in that environment. You have to disinfect and clean your drinkers and feeders once a week. Also, for the brooding area, you cannot access the brooding area with your normal shoes and your normal clothing. You have to remove them and change them before you get into the brooding area. Always do this for your poultry, your brooding area, and your poultry farm at large. Make sure you maintain good biosecurity, and make sure you don't allow make sure you feed them well and provide fresh water every day. As chicks, make sure you provide the right quantity of feed for them. When they finish eating that one, you can add more. If not, they will just scatter it all over the floor, and it will lead to wastage. Whenever your birds pour water on the floor, make sure you pack it to prevent coccidiosis from developing in these birds. And at 4 weeks, make sure you give anticoccidia for the first time to prevent the manifestation of coccidiosis. Well, that will be all for this video. If this is your first time to this channel and you like this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. And make sure you leave a comment below if you like the video. Just tell me what you like about the video, or if you want me to create a video about an important topic, just let me know in the comment section and I'll do that. See you in the next video. Thank you.